So I can only imagine how Bombshell will play in certain views of the ideas of politics. I just can't wait for them to watch this movie. What's up, guys, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Bombshell, the newest film from director Jay Roach, and it stars Nicole Kidman, Charlize Theron, Margot Robbie, Alison Janey, Kate McKinnon, Delaney, Mark Duplass, and John Lithgow. So in 2016, Roger Ailes was the head of Fox News. He had built it from the ground up. He had helped the Murdochs out. But the underlying problem of Roger Ailes was he was a sexual predator. He did a lot of bad stuff to women. And in order for women of certain types, beauty and looks, he made them do certain sexual favors for him. And it became a known secret, kind of like Harvey Weinstein. And eventually Gretchen Carlson, who was played by Nicole Kidman, basically rose up and decided to do something about it, and she was fired unreasonably, and she basically put a lawsuit out on Roger Ailes and his manipulation of the culture of women and so on and so forth. And then we have Charlize Theron, who is playing Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly is a very conflicted character, a very conflicted person, because she's very loyal to the Fox News brand, but she has a hidden secret with Roger Ailes, and it becomes a kind of what would happen with the Me Too movement with Harvey Weinstein, where people started coming out of the woodwork basically saying the exact same thing, that he took advantage of women. And that's basically this movie. It tells a tale of these three women. Unfortunately, the character who's played by Margot Robbie wasn't a real character, but it's like a combination of different people that was in Fox News, which I'm not a big fan of, because I like the realistic characters if you're going to tell a realistic story about a certain situation. But in essence, the movie is just the telling of what happened, how, it's leading up to the Donald Trump presidency. Megyn Kelly is in basically a heated battle on Twitter with the president, or with Donald Trump, who wasn't the president at the time. And it's just about the conflict of interest, the conflict of characters, the conflict of people who have to, rise above the crap, the uncomfortableness, the dark, seedy nature of what was going on in media at the time. And with that said, the movie it's good. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's very in line with The Big Short or Vice that came out last year. It tells a story. It's getting to the nuts and bolts of what made Fox News what it was, but also the underlying dark problems of media in general. Fox News, who is known for very strong opinions in certain realms of, like Republicans and stuff like that, they were hiding secrets, and they were hiding these people like Bill O'Reilly and so on and so forth, and of course Roger Ailes, and they were basically confiding in them, telling them that what they were doing was right, and it wasn't. And it was really, the things you're seeing in this movie are really uncomfortable to watch, and really dark and really disturbing, and it makes for just a very, very uncomfortable story to tell. But it's a story that needs to be told, because a lot of people like myself didn't really pay attention. I don't pay attention to news a lot of times, so I miss out on stories like this, even though it was a big story. But it made national news. Roger Ailes was ousted by the Murdochs, and Megyn Kelly and Gretchen Carlson and all the women that came forward were looked on as heroes, were looked on as pioneers, as people who were willing to step forward and do something about it. And that's what makes this movie more powerful than what it could be, because this could get really into some really silly stuff. And it's also a funny commentary on just people in general, the powers that be. Richard Kind plays Rudy Giuliani in this movie, which is really funny because his mannerisms are like all over the place, and it's really funny to see Kind in a role like that. But you see like the different characters, you see the Murdochs, you see Malcolm McDowell play the older Murdoch, and I think they're fun characters, but they don't really stand on its own. John Lithgow as Roger Ailes he's doing kind of like what Gary Oldman did in The Darkest Hour, where he's playing a character that is just kind of boisterous and real to life and whatever. But he's fun, he's fine, but he's taking on a very uncomfortable role. So, but the standouts, of course, are Nicole Kidman and Charlize Theron. They're definitely Oscar-worthy performances. Megyn Kelly, that the Charlize Theron is playing, is actually quite on point to who she was and how she acts and who she is now. You know, she left Fox News because she just was kind of put in that situation where she was kind of condemned for doing what she did, which is a very powerful thing to do. It's a very kind of uncomfortable thing to do because you're doing something that goes against the grain of what is considered the club, I guess you could say. And Nicole Kidman, like I said, is playing the person that's willing to go the distance to be that that outlier, to kind of make things and make changes and so on and so forth. So, like I said, with that said, it really works, and it really shows the ideas and the ideologies behind these ladies and what they had to go through. It doesn't make it a perfect movie. Sometimes it gets a little goofy and a little overboard and tries to be funny when it's really not. It is directed by Jay Roach, who did like Meet the Parents and Austin Powers. So you're starting to see some of the humor in there. And what makes this movie truly interesting is the fact that like Jay Roach and Adam McKay, if you watch their trajectory, they come from like really comedic backgrounds, but they are very political in their motivations, and they are willing to show those political movements in their movies, and they really resonate with people because it's really just like the embodiment of just everything that can go wrong. And they've seen it. They see the media for what it is. They work in the industry, so they can tell their stories and they can tell the ideas and ideologies behind these really true to life characters. And it's really fascinating to see. It just doesn't work half the time. It doesn't work as much as I want it to. There are characters in this movie, it just, you're like, okay, they come and go. They're not really that much fun. Stephen Root's in here he's in there for like 5 minutes and he's fine, but just overall it's okay. I mean, it is what it is, but just overall it's a movie that's entertaining. It's a movie that has a lot of interesting messages, but it's not a movie that's perfect. It does deal with a lot of scenarios that just kind of go overboard. They kind of throw things in there. The idea of the fact that the Margot Robbie character is just a combination of a bunch of people, which is, it can be fine, but I'd rather just see realistic people, like the real life, true to life people, instead of a combination, which is a major problem in these like true to life movies and stuff like that. So take that for what it's worth. But overall, Bombshell it's an interesting time at the theater. It's going to come up against Star Wars, so it's probably not going to do great. But you know what? If you want counter programming, you got Bombshell, so there you go. But so yeah, that's my take on Bombshell. It's a movie that is once again kind of like Waves and Marriage Story. It's difficult to watch, but that's been this type of year with some really great films and some just really hard films to watch. So anyways, that'll do it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this whole situation. Are you excited to see Bombshell, all that good stuff? Always hit the subscribe button, join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next, and of course comment below on any video that you watch my channel. Otherwise, see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.